Welcome to Wales Today. Our headlines tonight. Swansea tower blocks where cladding fails safety test. The minister says they remain safe, but goes on to say there's cause for concern. Little comfort to the tenants.
I don't feel very safe at the moment. It's heartbreaking since Grenfell disaster. And my nerves have gone living here.
Now the rest of the day's news. And tower blocks in Swansea, which the council says meet building regulations but failed new safety tests, remain safe places to be. Well, that's according to the Welsh Government, who went on to say that the test results are cause for some concern. As testing continues in the wake of the Grenfell tragedy in London, the Community Secretary here says he's waiting for new advice from the UK government about whether the cladding needs further tests. Paul Martin has the story.
2.5 weeks on from the Grenfell tragedy, the implications for people living in high-rise blocks around the country are still emerging. Now cladding on flats at two sites in Swansea, at Jeffreys Court in Penlan and here at Klein Court in Sketty, has failed fire safety tests. People living in these high-rise blocks say Swansea Council was in touch with them the day after the Grenfell fire to give assurances about building safety. But how do they feel now that they've joined the long list of buildings in England that have failed fire safety tests?
I don't feel very safe at the moment. It's heartbreaking since Grenfell disaster. And my nerves have gone living here.
A little bit worried. I'm on the 4th floor. I have problems with mobility. I find that if the lifts don't work, I have a lot of difficulty coming down in the fire escape.
Swansea Council's deputy leader says more information about the tests is needed before the council decides whether to remove the cladding. And he thinks the way the tests are being done has created worry.
With headlines like test failure, people are distressed and potentially upset. But, we just need to keep on reassuring residents that, as far as the fire service, as far as the council are concerned, the buildings that they occupy meet current British regulation standards and meet current fire service assurance standards.
At the moment, building regulations state that external walls must not allow fire to spread. One way of doing that is making sure each individual component of the wall, including cladding, meets the criteria for limited combustibility. But it's already known that certain types of cladding have combustible fillings and will fail new safety tests. Under the current regulations, those panels can still be used on buildings as long as they're part of a wall that, when tested as a whole, has sufficient fire resistance. This is an old British research establishment video testing insulation. It's the organisation that's carrying out the cladding tests, but on a smaller scale. So are the tests too strict, or the existing regulations too light?
The core samples are only one part of the elements of the makeup of the building. We're awaiting further advice from the UK government's advisory panel, hopefully today or first thing in the morning, about whether we should move next to the integrity of the building panel system, which is well beyond just the core sample, which has only been sampled on those buildings currently.
Tonight the wait goes on. Further results are expected soon on blocks of flats in Newport, Cwmbran, Pontypool, elsewhere in Swansea and on Anglesey. Tenants are being offered reassurance, but a lack of definitive answers.